Good evening, I'm 14 First Alert meteorologist Arden Gregory. This is a live look at the Owensboro riverfront. The party's still going on down there as Friday after 5 is still underway. You can see a few thin clouds there kind of blocking our view of the sun that has just set. We did have a pretty sunset this evening. Moving forward, what we're tracking, partly cloudy, cool and calm tonight. Tomorrow will be warmer with a very isolated chance of rain, but most of us will probably stay dry Saturday. Sunday and Monday will be a different story, though. We are on alert from Sunday afternoon and evening through Sunday night and into Monday for the possibility of heavy rain and thunderstorms that may be capable of producing damaging winds and even a threat for tornadoes. So let's dig into the details on that, because we're starting to get within the window now where our higher resolution models can start to give us a depiction of how this might play out. So this is a little different, a little more detailed than what I had for you earlier this afternoon. Starting with what's going on right now, we do have those thin clouds spreading across the tri-state. We will continue to see more of those pushing in, so it's going to be partly cloudy but dry through the night tonight and into Saturday morning. Saturday, we will still get a few peaks of sun, but there will be more clouds than there were out there today. And notice just this very isolated chance that a stray shower could pop up, mainly Saturday afternoon and evening. It would be a very isolated chance. Most of us will probably stay dry. Just don't be shocked if you do get a brief shower at some point in the day on Saturday, but most of us will stay dry throughout Saturday and into Sunday morning. So if you have Father's Day plans on Sunday, earlier in the day, the better. As we get into Sunday afternoon, that's when those rain chances start to pick up as scattered showers and thunderstorms push in from the northwest. Some of these storms may kind of line up here. And that's where I would really be concerned about a damaging wind threat, would be on the front edge of that line. And we could see multiple rounds of storms from this. So the first storms start to push in sometime late Sunday afternoon into Sunday evening. And then we've got even more rain on the way and a more widespread shot at rain and thunderstorms as we get into Sunday night. And then it's possible that rain will kind of linger through the overnight hours Sunday night, with another round of rain and thunderstorms, probably a little weaker than the one Sunday night, but still a chance of storms then through Monday morning and maybe even up through about lunchtime on Monday, all the way through the middle of the day there. Then those thunderstorms taper off to the southeast as we go through Monday afternoon, and by Monday evening it looks like we'll be mostly dry. As for our thunderstorm threat, the tri-state right at the cusp here of this level 1 to level 2 threat. So widespread severe weather is not expected, but a few strong to severe storms are certainly possible, and the chances get better the farther west you go. Notice this is a pretty large area outlooked in that level 2 risk for severe weather, and we're kind of on the far eastern edge of that. So I think a little farther west of here, that's where you've got the better chance of severe storms, but still here at home, a few strong to severe storms certainly possible, along with some soaking rainfall. There is going to be some heavy rain within some of these thunderstorms, and here locally, I think most of us will probably pick up 1 to 2 inches of rain from this system, but some isolated totals closer to 3 inches are certainly possible if you get caught in a thunderstorm with a heavy downpour, and especially if you get more than one, as there are multiple chances for thunderstorms from Sunday afternoon, overnight, and into the day on Monday. So looking at the individual threats, flooding and damaging winds are the most likely results from this. If we get any kind of severe weather from this, more than likely it would be some flooding produced by that heavy rain and maybe some damaging wind gusts on the front edge of those storms if they line up. However, I would not totally rule out the possibility that we could maybe get some small hail or even a tornado if the conditions come together just right. That's a little more conditional. I'm not as confident in the hail and tornado threats, but I certainly would not rule them out. They're possible. It's just that flooding and damaging winds are the more likely threats. Let's check in on the comments here. Good evening, Laura, Suzanne, Jeanette, and Jeff. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. Zach is asking, is widespread severe weather expected for Evansville Sunday? The answer is no. I just showed that moments ago, that level 1 through 5 threat, right? We're right at the cusp of a level 1 to level 2. Evansville is in the level 2, but the tri-state is right at the edge of that there. You really aren't talking about widespread severe weather until you get to at least a 3, more likely a 4. That's where you're talking about widespread severe weather, maybe even an outbreak. Just earlier this week, we had all those tornadoes just to our north in Illinois. They were sitting at that level 3 to level 4 risk. So that's where you're talking about a more widespread threat for severe weather. We're at this level 1 to level 2, where a few severe storms are certainly possible. And you never know where those are going to set up. You may or may not get hit by one of those storms, but widespread severe weather is not expected. All right, and good evening, Cheyenne and Angie. Always appreciate you guys tuning in. I do want to give a mention of the temperatures, because the cold front bringing us these storms will also cool us down a bit. We topped out in the lower 80s earlier this afternoon, but now that the sun has set, we're ranging anywhere from the mid to upper 60s to low to mid 70s, just depending on your location. It's 73 degrees right now in Evansville, 74 in Owensboro. By the end of the night, we'll probably bottom out somewhere in the low to mid 60s. Under partly cloudy and calm conditions. Then tomorrow, we will see a few more clouds than we had today, but some sunshine will still peek through. Notice that the winds tonight will be calm. By tomorrow, though, they start to pick back up very gently, but coming from the southwest. So that's going to pull warmer, slightly more humid air up into the tri-state. That's going to help push us into the mid to maybe even upper 80s in some locations tomorrow afternoon. That's a little warmer than today, but that's actually right where our temperatures should be this time of year. And that warmer, more humid air also brings us that opportunity for maybe a stray shower popping up in the heat of the day, Sunday or Saturday afternoon or Saturday evening. But again, most of us will probably stay dry until Sunday, Father's Day. The first half of the day then looks dry as well. So Father's Day plans Sunday morning should be in the clear. As we get into Sunday afternoon, that's when those storm chances start to creep in, and then especially Sunday evening into the overnight hours Sunday night. I really think Sunday evening through Sunday night is our best shot at seeing any kind of severe weather, but scattered thunderstorms and maybe even an isolated severe one will still be possible through the overnight hours Sunday night and into the day on Monday as well. So that's why that alert day goes all the way into Monday as well. I mentioned our temperatures. Highs will be in the mid to upper 80s tomorrow and Sunday. Then that cold front rolls through, brings us that chance of storms. We'll only make it into the upper 70s to maybe 80 on Monday, then lower 80s into Tuesday and Wednesday of next week as well. By the end of the week, though, we start to very slowly warm up into the low to mid 80s. So it's not going to be much of a warm up. Those temperatures are still below average for this time of year, but we will be trending toward that warmer summertime weather as we get toward the end of the week. As for our temperatures so far this June, we had that tiny heat wave middle of last week, 3 days in a row with highs in the 90s, and honestly that was long overdue. We typically are seeing at least a few days in the 90s by this point in the year. And it doesn't seem like we've got a lot of 90s left between now and the start of July. So it is kind of a mild start to the summer. In fact, on Monday, we only made it to 78. But despite that, the hotter and cooler days kind of canceled each other out. And actually, our temperature average, when you account for our highs, our lows, all of the temperatures so far for the whole month of June, it is exactly where the average should be so far into the month of June. Not even a tenth of a degree off. We are exactly where we should be. Everything's averaging out. We have had some beneficial rainfall so far this month. I mean, several days lit up in green there where we've had some rain. Just yesterday morning, we had 0.44 inches of rain in Evansville, and some of you in western Kentucky, that rain hung around on into the afternoon, and I had some reports of 2 inches of rain as you got into western Kentucky. But at the official rainfall gauge in the Evansville Regional Airport there, we are running about an inch short on rain for the month as a whole. We have had some really beneficial rain, but still not as much as you would expect this far into the month. And obviously we're still running really short on rain for the year as a whole, as it was a very dry spring. We were struggling with drought for much of the spring. That has improved. Much of the tri-state is now pulled out of drought completely. We still have some abnormally dry conditions across southeast Illinois and western Kentucky, and one small area here in Davis, McLean, and Ohio counties that is still under moderate drought conditions. But many of these areas in western Kentucky at one point had been all the way up into extreme drought. So we have seen major improvement from the last couple weeks of May up till now. Really, in the past month, we have started to dig our way out of this drought. Moving forward, our temperature trend, as I said, does trend below average for this time of year. We're pretty close to normal this weekend. That cold front cools us down then to start next week, and it's going to be a very slow climb back toward normal as we go through the middle and end of next week. The extended outlook then for next weekend all the way up into the start of July does show a trend back toward above average temperature, so trending back into that more typical summertime heat. However, we also see slightly above average precipitation. Looking at the hazards outlook, some areas to our southwest and southeast are actually outlooked for potentially dangerous heat as we get into next weekend and the week beyond. The tri-state, though, is kind of in the southeast corner of a large area that covers several states, outlooked for the potential for heavy rain Saturday, June 27th through Monday, June 29th. So that's something we're going to keep an eye on. We may have kind of an unsettled weather pattern setting up for next weekend. So tomorrow, good day, maybe a stray shower, a little warm, but really kind of what you should expect for this time of year. Sunday starts out fine for Father's Day, but by the end of the day, we've got that alert for storms, and those storm chances carry over into Monday. So that's kind of the next big thing we're tracking, is this chance of storms Sunday afternoon into Monday. That does cool us down. By the end of next week, notice some very isolated rain chances start to creep back in. Our temperatures start to warm up a bit, and I think that's kind of setting the scene for a warmer but more active weather pattern as we get into next week, or next weekend, I should say, and the week beyond that, as we could have more rain, thunderstorms, and warmer weather in the forecast then. But that's more than a whole week away. So we're going to take it one day at a time here and keep our focus on these alert days for Father's Day and into Monday. Good evening, Sally, Misty, Nancy, Bryn, you're welcome for the update, Sally. Thank you so much for watching. I'm not seeing any other questions in the comments, so I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up. I do want to let you know, though, I was just told that there will be a slight delay in getting on the air for 14 News tonight at 10. This U.S. Open Golf Championship is really messing with our broadcast today. We had streaming only shows at 4, 5, and 6, and now we are still going to do 14 News at 10, but the golf ran long and it has pushed everything back, and so we probably won't go on the air until after 10:30 tonight. So hang around a little bit later for us this evening. We will be on for 14 News at 10, but it probably won't go on at 10 o'clock. It'll be closer to 10:30 or even 10:45 before we get on the air tonight. But for those of you who are going to be up late this Friday night, I hope you'll still join us then for a look at some of our top headlines and an updated look at your weather forecast then as well. And Byron Douglas will have the latest information on this First Alert Weather Day for you on our 14 News shows tomorrow evening. He's covering this Saturday, so I hope you'll join him for that then. With that, I'm going to wrap this up. Again, make sure you have a reliable way to receive warnings wherever you're going to be Sunday night. Sunday evening into Sunday night seems like our best chance at severe weather, but there are thunderstorms possible through the night and even into Monday as well. So keep that in mind for any plans you have Sunday into Monday. Everybody enjoy the rest of your weekend.